Officials, welcome to the Week 5 training tape put out by the Iowa High School Athletic Association. My name is Monte Tilgner, and I'll be taking you through these plays. Really excited about this one. We've got 11 really good plays to look at that I think are going to make us better. So this first one here, talking about Crossfield Mechanics and a crossfield spot. So let's take a look at this play. We'll break it down and talk about it. So crossfield spots most commonly occur on pass plays towards the sideline when we have one official who the ball's coming at him. He's behind the play, which he should be, and he just has everything kind of coming in his lap. The players end up out of bounds often as well, and if the crossfield official can release downfield, reading that and be in position to help at the spot, we can get a much better spot. So it's something that is done all the time in the collegiate game, and a lot of crews do it in high school, and we should be able to incorporate this into our regular mechanics. So what I'm saying is, at this point, if you're the headline judge at the top of the screen, you see the quarterback rolling out that way. You see a receiver who's running a short route, in that direction. So this is the perfect time for you to flow downfield. And with that line to gain being 4 yards downfield, just get right to that line to gain, because you know where they're going to run that route. They're going to run an out route on 3rd and 4. They're going to run that out route to 5 yards. So 5-6 yards. So if you release at this point, you're going to be in perfect position to see this, and you're looking right across, and where this ball is first touched by this receiver and then contacted is right about the 33-yard line, which would be 1 yard past the line to gain. So like I said, you have a much better angle to get that spot from the cross field, and the line judge at the bottom of the screen actually is probably a little close to this. You'd have a better look at this at the feet being inbounds or out of bounds if you were back, probably at where that 25-yard line is. So remember, when that play's coming at you, a pass like this, you can just stay right behind it. If we've got 3rd and 3 or 4th and 4 or 3rd and 3, we've talked about releasing to that line to gain. But in this case, we can use a crossfield spot and get a great look at this. So then, as you're cleaning that up on the 020, your headline judge is just going to get on his radio and say, hey, I've got your spot. And believe me, if you incorporate this into your game as a crew, you're going to be so much better. So let's look at the finish there. And if we go back, interesting thing here is, did anyone think about this hit? I'll go back and take a look at the hit, because this hit actually would be a foul for illegal contact against a defenseless receiver per Rule 232.16D. That's the new rule that's come into play. So if we go back and put this in at regular speed, I'm going to go slow motion because I got the tab in there. But you can see he starts to wrap up, but then he doesn't. Okay? And that is a foul based on that rule. If he would continue and wrap up and take him down, it would not be a foul, but he starts out kind of with the wrap up, but just has a forcible blow to this receiver, and that would be a foul. So crossfield spots, learning tool number 1, and secondly, remembering that rule that these forcible contact hits, if they're not a wrap up tackle or going to make a play on the ball, should be fouls. All right, next one. Rules and mechanics on scrimmage kicks. So this screen will settle down here in just a second, the video. So here's what we got. First of all, a couple things. We talked about this mechanically. So talk about this in your pregame, and let's get our back judges in better position. If they have 2 receivers, we want to split them. And if we've got, the goal line is going to be threatened. If we got guys on the 10-yard line, receivers on the 10-yard line, just plant yourself on the goal line. That's the only line that really matters at this point. Okay, that's our money line. So everything just depends on if that ball breaks the plane of that or not. So in this case, get between these two receivers, plant yourself on the goal line. Don't move off the goal line until that catch is secured. Because what happens here is we got a fair catch signal. We would be in better position if we're at that location, especially to someone pressing that receiver. So again, if our back judge was right here, he would have the perfect angle to look in and see this catch. He muffs it, and now we've got our back judge who gets a little too excited and actually ends up right in the middle of this play. So again, just stay right where you're at. You're a good depth away, and just don't move. Just wait and see what happens, because really all we need to know is that ball break the plane of the goal line. And here's the deal. The ball's still loose right now. All right. So the saying, a kick is a kick is a kick, that's going to help you to always remember this rule. And the rule is a kick stays a kick. And when a kick breaks the plane of the end zone, the ball is dead by rule. And it's a touchback. Okay. The play's over. This is one that if you have a field mic, referee, get on the field mic and just say, by rule, it's a touchback when the kick enters the neutral zone. First down, Spencer in this case. Okay, but as I continue, you can see this ball is still loose. They're still scrambling for it. We've got officials closing in, and now we have other officials coming in, and we signal touchback. So here's my question to the crew. Did they signal touchback because the receiving team recovered this ball in the end zone, or did they signal touchback because they knew that as soon as it broke the plane, it was a touchback? I think it was probably who recovered it, which means, we got to slow down, because if we get excited and see that K recovers this and we signal touchdown, it's just a lot harder explanation, selling this to the coach then of why it's not a touchdown and why it's a touchback. So slow down so we get it right. And just remember, K can never advance a kick. They can only advance a fumble, meaning R had possession of it and started a running play, and then they fumbled the ball, then K. But otherwise, K cannot advance a muff, and this was a muff. So K can recover it, but in this case, K can't recover it because when that ball was loose and crossed the end zone, broke the plane of the goal line, it is a touchback. All right, so just wanted to talk about as a crew. If you get this right and you nail this baby from the start, you're just going to look great. And it's easier to sell to the coaches than seeing the scramble in the end zone and then having to explain why it's actually not a touchdown when they recovered the ball. All right, so great learning play there. Next one, same rule on free kicks. A kick is a kick is a kick, so it's a touchback when it breaks the plane of the goal line. Let's take a look at this one again. Before we get to that point, remember, if that goal line is going to be threatened, we want our wings to be on that goal line, on that pylon extended, again, watching to see if that ball breaks the plane. Okay, so we cheated up here to about the 2-yard line, and we want to be right on that goal line, so we're looking perfectly across. All right. Also, since this ball has been legally touched, it will be legally touched, we need to wind the clock. And in this play, at least 1 second is going to come off the game clock. The only way we're going to have no time come off the game clock is if we have a fair catch, or if a player recovers it while he's grounded, while he's on a knee, or while he's grounded. But in this case, we have a muff. So that ball, once that breaks the plane, it should be dead. Okay. We do eventually realize it and get this rule right. Okay. So now let's talk about, what if that ball was at the half-yard line, but the return man had his feet in the end zone and he reached out, and before that ball got to the end zone, he reached out at the half-yard line, picked it up, and then ran. Okay. Remember, only the position of the ball matters. That player can be in the end zone. If the ball never crosses the plane, the play continues. So thinking about this from on a punt, if the kicking team is trying to down that ball and they have a player who's in the end zone, maybe he slips and falls and he's laying down in the end zone, the ball's rolling at him, he reaches out into the field of play at the half-yard line, 1-yard line, grabs the ball and possesses it, it's dead right then, and that's where the ball would be. Doesn't matter where his feet are. Okay. If a player would be running full speed a K player, and he would field that, get that ball at the 2-yard line and secure it, complete possession of it, foot down, and then he runs with the ball into the end zone, that ball would be dead at the 2-yard line. All right? Because it's dead on possession by Team K. And if that possession was at the 2, it doesn't matter that his momentum carries him into the end zone because the play would have already been dead. So great learning play on that one as well. All right, this is an interesting one. So we need to know the 3 options for a kickoff out of bounds. So what options do we have if there's an illegal bat by K during the kick, which we do have in this play, and we don't see many illegal bats? And what if we have both fouls? Okay, so some things to think about as we watch the play. Here we go. So first of all, we've got 2 bounces. We got to know what happens here. We've got a short bounce that doesn't get up high, so we're good with, we don't have the we're not blowing this dead for the 1 bounce over the head of the kicker. Okay, so 1 bounce, we're good. Second bounce, now it bounces high, and everything is legal. Okay, but a couple things. First of all, mechanically, we've got our line of scrimmage official who started out probably on the 10 because they maybe were thinking of an onside kick with our time and score here. He's sprinting up the sideline. Problem is he ends up getting too close again. Remember, your umpire's at the 50. So if you stop at the 30, you guys got this wedged in perfectly. So don't come in too close. Just wait. And there's our bat. And now there's our ball out of bounds. Okay. So let's just see what my comments are here to talk about. Okay, so this is really, really good because our discussion, I'm sure, because I know they went with KOB. So our discussion was, I had no receiving player touching that ball. We have a kickoff out of bounds, right? Yep, flag up. So great. Okay, but now what? We've got 3 options for KOB. Which is our best option? Okay, well, with time and score, we know they're not going to want to re-kick it. So we can take that one out. Option number 2 is 25 yards from the previous spot, and Team R puts the ball in play. That's the 35-yard line in this case. Option number 3, which we forgot about on this play, was we can tack 5 yards on from the dead ball spot. This ball went out of bounds at the 32. 5 yards from the 32 is the 37. 37 is better than the 35. We don't have to give them options. Just say, Coach, you want the ball at the 37-yard line, correct? Tack on 5 yards. He's going to say, yep, we got it right. Now, the crew ended up giving them the ball, Team R, the ball at the 35-yard line. Not the end of the world. We gave the right team the right ball. It is one of our options for kickoff out of bounds, but we want to make sure we know all 3 and have the most advantageous one. Now, if we continue here going, let's go back and discuss the batting. So what makes something illegal or illegal bat? If we have only the bat and recovery by R, what options do we have? If we have a bat and illegal recovery by K, what enforcement options do we have? And what if we have a bat and a kickoff out of bounds? What options do we have for enforcement? So let's go back first of all and take a look at the bat so we know what it means to illegally bat a ball, because like I said, it's a very rare occurrence. I think I've had 3 in all my years of officiating. So here's our player coming down, and first of all, bat has to be intentional, and this is definitely an intentional bat. He knows he can't get to this. He's trying to bat that ball and then continue downfield and get it. So we have an illegal bat there. You can't bat it forward. You can bat the ball backward, but you cannot bat the ball forward. So that's why this is an illegal bat. Okay. And this ball never touches anybody from Team R and goes out of bounds. So we're good there. All right. So now let's go down to our last options we talked about here. We just talked about what is a legal bat, what's an illegal bat. Legal is backward, illegal is forward. Okay. Now, if we only have the bat and we have a recovery by Team R, what options do we have for enforcement? So one option, if R is in legal possession at the end of this play, we can tack on the batting foul, which is 10 yards. Okay, that is the rule in high school and college. Team fouls by K, other than KCI, can be tacked on to the dead ball spot. So if we have a bat, an illegal bat, we have a recovered by R, we could tack 10 yards on. So in this case, with that ball going out of bounds, we have R's ball coming up, so we can go from the 32 to the 42. If we have the bat, illegal bat, and we have a legal recovery by K, they are legally recovered the ball. Now that option of the tack on is no longer an option. But of course, we can still enforce the foul because Team K did foul, but we'd have to make it a previous spot enforcement, go back from the 40 to the 30, and K would be able to kick off again. If they decline that foul, if K's in had a legal recovery, then it's going to be K's ball. So they're not going to do that. And then if we have the bat and a KOB, enforcement options, remember, these are 2 live ball fouls. We can only enforce one of those 2 live ball fouls. We need to see which one would be better for Team R. So if this ball went out of bounds at the 20, then an illegal bat would bring it to the 30. And if the ball went out of bounds at the 20, 25 yards from the 40 is the 35. So they would take the kickoff out of bounds at the 35 rather than the illegal bat. So all those things are things we got to think about and talk about as a crew to make sure we get this enforced right. Overall, the crew did a very good job. Missed the enforcement by 2 yards. Not the end of the world considering. Most important thing, they gave the right team the right ball in this situation. Okay, this is a really good play. So when we've got a ball that comes, when we got a ball coming out of the hand of a quarterback that gets hit, we only want the referee to blow it dead for an incomplete pass. He's the only one that really knows if that ball was in possession and in the grasp of the quarterback with the hand moving forward when he was contacted. So if we look, here's the eyes of our line judge, and they should be here. They should be watching receivers. Here's the eyes of our umpire, and they should be here watching blocking of the inside, the middle 3. Our referee is going to be watching this contact. But watch what happens on this play is we get this ball that comes out, and we have 2 officials who they're really guessing if they blow this incomplete, which they do. I'll go forward. You can see we've got incomplete pass signal going by our line judge and our umpire. Oops, sorry. So we only want our referee blowing this dead, okay? Because it's really close if he has possession of this ball when he gets contacted. He does, but these guys don't know, okay? We had a ball in a college game that went 15 yards downfield and somewhat of a spiral and was somewhat decent pace on it where it was a fumble. The ball was coming out before and was loose in the quarterback's hand, and then he kind of flung his hand forward with the ball loose in it, which by definition is a fumble. And the crew did a great job. No one blew their whistle. In fact, we had no whistle for a little bit, and then the referee was able to process, he knew he had an incomplete pass, but he doesn't know right away that no one catches it or anything. He's got his quarterback going down. He's got to process all that. So we had all that going on. They did a great job of no one having a whistle but the referee. You can always come back and just say, we got an incomplete pass. After discussion with the crew, we have an incomplete pass. Okay? But if you don't do it that way, someday this is going to bite you in the butt because you're going to have someone blowing this dead. And after the fact, when Team B recovers it, then all of a sudden you're going to have a coach going nuts because he knows that was a fumble. All right, so learn from this one. Only the referee makes this an incomplete pass anytime that quarterback's getting hit. Great one to talk about as a crew. Okay, what I really like is we got crew sending in plays, and this is a crew sending a play, missed a block below the waist. Who should see this? Most of these comments upcoming are the crew comments from their edits that they're sending out with their crew. So this is just a great, great job of dissecting this play by this crew. So, you know, they talk about here, this defender is not in the zone. So he cannot block low. He cannot be blocked low. Free blocking zone is right here. This player is in the zone at the snap. That's one requirement for a legal low block. The next one is it has to be in his initial charge, and he pulls, so there's no way that's going to be legal as well. Okay, so they go in and they talk about the rule. Blocking of the waist permitted, free blocking zone, fouling condition are met. All players involved in the blocking are on the line of scrimmage. Contact is in the zone. It's immediate initial action of the snap. And this is a pulling guard, which as soon as he pulls, it's done. He can't block low. And he can't block a defensive back, really, in this case, or a wide defensive end. So there's our low block. Okay, so we have our lineman that goes low. All right. And who should see this is a big point to talk about. So we got a front side block here. Let me darn it. Stop. Backed up here. Sorry. Okay, so who should see this block? This is a front side block. Our referee should be looking front side and coming in and probably seeing that block. 100% our line of scrimmage official, right? And I really feel our back judge should. Our back judge doesn't have any action out here. So back judge, you are looking front side as well. And that's one that, you know, as a back judge, you could pick that up as well. So no one got it. And we could have anywhere up to 3 flags. Legitimately, we could have up to 3 flags seeing this foul. And we need to be thinking about where we need to look at so we pick up blocks like this, because these are safety fouls. Okay? So now, personal foul by Team B. So enforcement. Personal foul by Team B. The ball ends up behind the line of scrimmage. So where do we enforce that from? New rule, right? We're going to enforce this from the previous spot. So our box man is already starting to move, so we don't want that. We got a flag down. We want to have those quick whistles so they know, hey, don't move. We snap the ball from the 22. So in this case, we're going to go from the previous line of scrimmage, and the ball ends up being dead at the 24, I think. We're going to go previous line of scrimmage, and it's a 15-yard penalty, but we know that's going to be a half a distance foul. So we're going to go previous spot. Remember, previous spot means previous ball position as well. So we're snapping from position 5. Remember, position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 5. Snapping the ball from position 5. So we're going to go half the distance from the 22 to the 11. And we're going to snap from position 5. And we had a running play that ended in bounce. We're going to be on the ready for play. Those are all things we need to process on a play like this. Okay, so thank you, crew, for sending it in. A great learning tool for you and a great learning play for the rest of us. Okay, here's a really good pickup for IBB, and it's picked up by the referee, but again, who should see this? We need to, it's mechanics that put us in the right position, and mechanics that give us, that put us where we're looking in the right places that are going to allow us to see these fouls. And really, a foul like this should probably be seen by 2 and maybe up to 3 officials. So in this one, let's take a look, and we'll see the block in the back coming right here. So again, we talked about red flags, okay? Chase mode. We have got offensive player chasing defender. And right now, who should be seeing this block? Well, first of all, back judge 100%. Okay, so back judge, you're looking outside in at front blocks in front of our runner. So back judge should be all over this one. Our line of scrimmage official, possibly, but remember, as soon as we have a runner who has close enough that he can foul or be fouled, which this guy here is getting in that area, then he's got to be on that runner for face mask by the offensive player, face mask by the defensive player. So our line of scrimmage official is probably tied up in the action around the runner in this case, okay? But here comes our block right there. Chase mode. He's coming in from behind. That's definitely contact in the back. Definitely puts that runner, past that potential, or that block, or the defender past that potential runner. And it's picked up by our referee. So great pickup by our referee. Here comes our flag coming in by our referee. So again, just who else should be able to see this? But great job by the referee. Now let's talk about, we're downfield, remember? So we were snapped at the 17, it looks like. So we got a foul by Team A that's beyond the line of scrimmage. We've got a run that ends up further downfield. So the spot of this foul is important. And he nails the spot there. So, but if you were off with your flag, you want to get that flag in the right spot. And we're going to go from this spot, we're going to go back 10 yards. And we were at that ball position outside of position 1. So we're going to go from position 1 on that yard line back 10 yards. We ended up with our runner being down inbounds. So we're going to have the clock on the ready for play. All right. So good stuff there. Just mechanically, we got to get our eyes the right spots so we get these fouls. Okay, next play. Goal line mechanics. This is a good one. So who can foul, and thus who do we watch, and how do we signal a touchdown? All right, so let's watch this play here. First of all, mechanically, we are snapping inside the 10, so we want to release to the goal line. We're snapping inside the 5, so we want to immediately release to the goal line. This official does a great job. The head line judge does. The line judge, you'll see, he kind of gets caught and is like, oh crap, I'm supposed to be there, and doesn't get to the goal line in time. We end up making the right call, but if we're in better position, we've got a better chance of making that right call. And again, just back judges, don't just, just start out in the middle. Don't worry about it. If they run a fade to this guy, if he runs this route right here, which is a route they're going to run a lot on that fade to the back corner, you want to be in the middle. Otherwise, you're 2 or 3 steps away. Okay, so just start out and stay in the middle. Now let's continue and run the play. Okay, so you can see we got a pass play. Our line judge is like, oh crap, I got to get to that goal line. He does get there, and here's my point. He signals to the middle of the field. All right, the field is never fouled. The field has never been fouled. All right, players foul and players get fouled. So we've got players of opposite teams behind this official. And anytime we have a touchdown scoring play, we got lots of emotion. So what if the dude spikes the ball? What if somebody hits the other guy or whatever? All right. And I'm in a lot of clinics. I present a lot of clinics, speak at a lot of clinics. And if you're ever on the field with me at a clinic, I guarantee you a player's going to go out of bounds. And if you do this, even just signaling, hey, went out of bounds, stopping the clock, even for, at the 12-yard line or whatever, at the end of the play, I'm going to say, hey, did you see that guy just spike the ball? And you're going to be like, no. And I'm going to be like, well, he didn't spike the ball. But the point is, if he did spike it, it should be UNS, and you wouldn't have seen it because you were facing the field. So turn and face the players. And I do that every single clinic I'm at. And someone did it to me when I first was at a clinic, and I'm like, never forgot that again. So now I watch players. So as you signal in touchdown, turn and watch the players. No one says you have to signal the middle of the field. The only one that's going to signal to the, has anywhere he has to signal to is going to be our referee. He's going to do a great job right there. Okay. Now our line judge is turning around, but it might be too late. Okay. So just remember, officiate players. And if you need a signal out of bounds, you need a signal touchdown, officiate the players as you do so. All right, next play. True communication is critical when we have a player who's covered up and he is no longer eligible. So this player right here is covered by this wide out. He is also on the line of scrimmage. So this is an ineligible player. And if your crew wants to be great, have your back judge or have whoever knows he's covered say, we've got the tight end to the headline judge's side is covered. And now all officials know he's covered. So now when this happens and he goes downfield, Right now we're thinking, oh, we got a problem. Okay. We have a hanging IDP, hanging ineligible player downfield. Remember, this is not a foul yet because we need a ball that crosses a pass across the line of scrimmage to make it a foul. Now, this gets even more interesting because guess who catches the ball? There we go. Our ineligible player touches that ball first. So now we actually have 2 fouls. We've got an ineligible player downfield, and we've got a illegal touching by an ineligible player. So we need to know what we're going to do penalty-wise. And ineligible, both of these fouls actually are 5-yard fouls. However, an illegal touching is a loss of down foul, where the ineligible player downfield is not. So we need to know we have 2 fouls, so we get the illegal touching, and then we end up 5 yards, loss of down, and it's going to the next down. Okay, so great communication there by the crew. They knew they had a guy covered up. They figured out that was the same guy who caught the ball or touched it first, and they ended up nailing this play and knowing that they had an illegal touching, 5 yards, and loss of down. Just perfect. The only thing they could have done better was to have known it ahead of time. Just a little smoother, but did a great job with communication there. Thanks for sending that play in, guys. All right, look at our situation here. We are late in the game, 4th quarter, 52 or 32 seconds left. I'm not sure which one. And we've got a 4th down and 1, and we've got a play that kind of ends this game, but we've got an illegal personal contact foul that does not get called. Okay, that 100% is a foul against this receiver. He's defenseless, and that is not a wrap-up tackle. That is forcible contact. It's not targeting, I'm not saying that, but it is an illegal contact foul against a defenseless player. The rule I already noted in the previous spot. So this is going to be a live ball foul. This should be a live ball foul. It's going to be 15 yards from the previous spot, and it's going to result in a 1st down, and this game's continuing. Okay, we've got to remember that in high school football, different than college, this is a foul. In a college game, it's not targeting. It's not a foul. This is not college. This is not college rules. This is high school rules. This is a new rule, and it's a point of emphasis this year that 100% should be a foul for illegal personal contact. Okay? Again, widen your vision. We should have 2 or 3 sets of eyes, at least 2 sets of eyes, probably a third with the umpire going to that play. All right. Okay, I believe this is our last play. This is a really good one. Understanding when the window opens for OPI and DPI, and this is an excellent call for OPI. It's kind of unique, but it's definitely a foul. Okay, so going back here to the start, the window for OPI, remember, starts at the snap. And the window for DPI starts when the ball's released by the passer. That's why for DPI, we have a defensive hold that might turn into a DPI. But so we got to make sure that we have that. So let's take a look at this play. This is unique in when this blocking occurs and where it occurs. Okay, so this is the crew. This is in their crew plays that they take out of their game and talk to each other about. So this is a comment by one of the guys in the crew. The block starts at like the 20-yard line, and you can see he's blocking, and the block continues down to the 8-yard line, and then the ball's caught. Okay, so now let's go back and look at this blocking and make sure that we have blocking by the offensive player, and let's look at what it does to this defender. All right, so going in slow motion here. Right now, he's definitely blocking. I mean, that's blocking by this guy right here. And if you watch, this defender is trying to come back, and now he can't come back and make a play on this ball or play on this receiver because he's getting blocked. So that is a great call for OPI. And our back judge had a flag there. You can see our flag right there thrown by our back judge. Couple things mechanically. Back judge, be right on that goal line when this play ends. You know you have OPI, so even though we have a touchdown was scored, since your flag is going to make this not a touchdown, remember, we do not signal touchdown. However, our back judge doesn't give any signal on this play. We do need a signal, so if you're not going to give the touchdown signal because your flag is making it where we don't have a touchdown, you just give the kill the clock signal. That's 2 hands over the head, right? So at the goal line, give that signal, and then you get on the 0-2-0, and the back judge did get on the 0-2-0, and he said, I've got offensive pass interference, number 21, 15 yards, previous spot, repeat the down. Okay, so that's exactly what we had in this play. The only thing we could have done is just a little bit better mechanically, but great pickup by our back judge, and nice job of thinking about all that. All right, a little longer on this one, but I think 11 really, really good plays. Sent in by some coaches, sent in by crews as well, and just really nice job. Thanks for sending these in. I think they're great learning plays. Talk about these as your crew. Continue to have great pre-games. These are the kind of plays we want you to send in so we can all learn from them and be better. Okay, remember, we need to be better mechanically. We need to increase our threshold of what's a foul for non-safety fouls, like holding, offensive holding, especially. We need to increase our threshold and make sure we have that restriction at the point of attack that takes something away from that player trying to make a play. And safety fouls, we need to widen our vision. We need to mechanically be thinking about where we need to be looking the right spots so we get those. So great job sending in plays. A really good one this week. And we will talk to you again next week. Have a great game, guys.